our live show. All right, good Wednesday evening. Good Wednesday evening. Thank you guys so much for joining me once again for our live broadcast. And I have a question for everybody because tonight we're talking about Facebook and YouTube and censorship and anti-vax rhetoric and all of those things. And I'm wondering how many of you panicked on Monday when Facebook went down during the Facebook blackout. I know I was trying to get ready to go live actually on Monday, and I couldn't get on. I couldn't get into the app at all. And I was thinking something was wrong with my account, and my internet went down as well. But in the meantime, it turns out that Facebook and all of its affiliates, Instagram, WhatsApp, and all of that was down, and so I think we all thought we were in Facebook jail. But what they have going on right now with the whistleblower and all of that, I think some things are going to come behind it with legislation that's going to feel like Facebook jail for a lot of people, and there's some lawsuits flying, and it's a lot going on with it. Also, YouTube is censoring anti-vax rhetoric, amongst other things, including conspiracy theories and things like that that they feel are being harmful to the public. So we're going to talk about a lot of those things as well, and we're going to cover the NBA and their fight against vaccine hesitation. Vaccine hesitation is a huge problem in the Black community, particularly as it relates to our disproportionate, us being disproportionately affected by mortality and infection rates. And so we've been talking about this for a few weeks, and it's a huge problem. We do have something more than what we had in 2020, which is the vaccines, and they're starting to roll out various experimental treatments and things like that to actually treat COVID. The problem is if you can survive it, when you start talking about adaptive immunity and all of those types of things. So we're going to get off into that, but we're covering the NBA and some other major organizations that are doing not mass, but vaccine mandates. And so there's some big things happening with that as well. So it's going to be a jam-packed evening. Tanya Yarborough-Benton is back this evening as our guest co-host to share in our thoughts and whatever. Also, the phone lines are open. I'm going to put the number up in just a little bit so that you can as well call in. I hope that you guys will actually call in to share your thoughts and opinions. I'm going to give us some house rules and all of that kind of stuff just to keep some order, because we don't want it to get out of control. When you share your thoughts and things like that, make sure that you are advancing the conversation and not trying to bring in. I've had a big problem with people coming into the chat and trying to drop in conspiracy theories and things like that. I'm not going to listen to that stuff. We're only trying to sort through the issues and sort out what can be done and what is the best possible way that people can make to help people make decisions about whether or not they should or are willing to or even should be vaccinated. That is the major issue. The U.S. has hit a milestone on Friday with over 700,000 deaths due to COVID-19. Here in Michigan, we hit a milestone of administering 10 million, over 10 million vaccination shots. So we are doing pretty good in this state. The Black community vax rates are still too low, but we're doing better than a lot of others, like in the South and things like that, where people are just, people are contracting the disease. The governor of Gregory Abbott out there in Texas, or is it Texas? No, Florida. The Florida governor, Santis, I think is his name. He's promoting anti-mask rhetoric and things like that. So is Ted Cruz, but out there in Texas, Senator Ted Cruz. However, they're also simultaneously petitioning the government for ventilators and stuff. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting to look at all of these things and how they are playing out. And so we're trying to get through this pandemic, and where we don't have the fatalities and things like that. People, everybody at this point has been touched by the coronavirus and its devastating effects. People that have contracted it, they're calling them long haulers. The after effects of even when you do recover from the disease, the damage that it's doing to the organs and things like that. And so at some point we're going to cover all that as well. But tonight we're talking about Facebook and YouTube and censorship, as well as the vaccine mandates in various organizations. So we're still talking vaccine hesitations, mandates, myths, and disparities in the Black community. So stay tuned. We're waiting on our guests. I'll be back in just a moment after this brief message from one of our sponsors.
Hi, my name is Lori Bonport. I'm the owner of LACC Child Care Academy, and welcome to a whole new world of early childhood development.
From ages 6 weeks to 12 years, offering licensed 24-hour care in our state-of-the-art facility with Matrix Human Services trained staff, including an RN with an isolation medical area, camera monitoring, high-scope curriculum STEM program, and a natural outdoor playground. Call us today to schedule a tour at 313-345-3744.
All right, that was the LACC Child Care Academy here in Detroit, Michigan. If you are looking for safe and affordable child care, please give them a call. So, well, hold on a second. I got to stop the video. So, we're still waiting on our guests, and I guess we can go ahead on and just start the conversation. Now we're in October, and so October marks 23 months into the pandemic, about around 674 days that we have been dealing with the coronavirus, and so it's an interesting thing in terms of just being in a pandemic and the effect that it has had on us, even if you haven't had a death, the mental health effects that it has had on all of us, and the changes that we have had to make to our lives has just been extraordinary. So when I talk to you guys, and I hope that you guys will again join me, and you're welcome to come on screen. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link to the broadcast. Let me do that now. Let's do that, because I want to make sure that you guys have the opportunity to come on screen if you want to, or you can call in and participate in the conversation. So I want to give us some house rules, though, really quickly, just really, really quick. So that we can stay on task. I'm going to be reading a lot of notes tonight as well. This is a conversation. This is not an attack mission. I know at this point, I know, because I didn't know at first, that there is an anti-vaccination entire movement going on. And so I am here to assist in providing good, solid information in terms of directing people to the proper uh, outlets and organizations that where you can get information that is sound regarding your particular situation in terms of any biomedical conditions that you have and other considerations that you need to have in order to decide whether the vaccination is for you. And that's what we're here to do, and also to talk about the things, like I said, sort out the issues, sort through the issues, and figure out where we are and where we need to be in terms of making those decisions. Um, the comments must advance the discussion. I'm not allowing any type of conspiracy theories or anything like that. And hopefully everyone can respect that as well. Then if you're going to use an avatar, for those that want to come on screen, the link is now in the chat. So if you're going to use an avatar, you must have a photo in your as your avatar to come on screen. If there's no picture there and it's some cartoon character or what, well, I don't know. It depends. But the people that I would let on first is those that have a photo. And also you'll have the option of calling in. Again, I'll put that number up in just a second. And then let's see. We're focusing on the vaccine hesitant and things like that. And again, like I said, I'm not trying to get into any squabbles or anything like that or mislead anyone, because we're all trying to make the best decisions. Each one of us are in the same boat. And so, because the virus does not know our race, the virus does not know our age, the virus, it's just looking for someone that is open and unprotected to latch onto and duplicate itself and take over your body. So in that respect, there is no difference between us. And so, the fact that you are questioning or skeptical or hesitant or anything like that is fine. You're supposed to question everything. It's called critical thinking. It's nothing wrong with questioning the safety and the efficacy of these vaccines. It's nothing wrong with that. And I, again, believe that everyone has the intelligence with the proper information. We all have the intelligence and the autonomy to make decisions for ourselves. And that's what we're here to do, is to make the best decisions. Also, let's see, consult medical professionals. This is the most important thing. This is a conversation. So, don't base your decisions on anything that we discuss in this forum. Base your decisions based on what your personal doctor says and other medical or health organizations and things like that. The CDC, NIH, all of them. Johns Hopkins has a wonderful resource center for COVID-19, where you can find out basically anything you need to know to make a decision about getting vaccinated. And then there is the National Medical Association, the NMA, the National Medical Association. This is the largest organization of Black physicians. They are there to help us, to give us information and sound information about the virus and about the vaccines. Visit their website. They have a wealth of information already there to to share, and I believe that they have live chats and things like that on the website as well. So we are back. We're back. Still waiting on Tanya to get logged in. Hopefully she'll be here shortly. So YouTube recently announced the banning of channels suspected of spreading misinformation. This covers everything from conspiracy theories to anti-vax rhetoric and propaganda that is fueling the skepticism and the hesitation towards the vaccines, amongst other things. There's also some issues with channels that are promoting. Oh, here she is. Hey.
Hey, hold on. I got to take one of them off.
Oh, okay. Okay, so she'll pop back in shortly. But yeah, so what is happening is that YouTube and Facebook are beginning to censor specifically as it relates to the COVID-19 issue with the pandemic. They are starting to censor channels in terms of anything that they feel is harmful to the public. And it's covering several specific areas. I was just talking about the announcement of YouTube taking down channels. They took down since October last year. I guess it started last year. I'm just hearing about it. Maybe other people knew. But they had started monitoring content because at first they demonetized channels that were talking about COVID-19. If you made a video about COVID-19, you couldn't get paid for that video. That was last year. Then now, the other day, they took down more channels. One, there were some channels that was, I guess, imitating Fox News. And they were putting up videos, millions of followers, putting up videos saying that Joe Biden was secretly dying and Trump would be reinstalled to the presidency and things like that. So they caught those channels and took them down the other day. Then they boosted. They made policy changes because Google owns YouTube, and so they made policy changes to where you can't. Basically be on here giving out misinformation. And so they're taking down, they took down so far, I read they took down 130,000 channels.
Wow. And I mean, they should,
Kick
because
them off the platform.
misinformation is just like being poison,
It is.
It's just like being poison. And technology being the way that it is, and they're taking so long to finally review and censor all the things that are being posted that are information that's not correct. It is so harmful because once somebody gets that into their head, trying to convince them otherwise is very, very tough. And it's really tough when it's what they want to hear.
Until we got into this, right?
Yeah, and when it's what they want to hear, that makes it even more tough. So I'm very satisfied and happy that they're finally getting around to doing that. I mean, I understand freedom of speech, don't get me wrong, but when you're coming out here and you're just putting out a whole bunch of stuff that's just not even beneficial for people, that's just terrible. I mean,
I think it's gotten to a point now where they realize that it's costing people lives. Plus, they're taking down a lot of stuff that is making any type of rhetoric that is an attack on democracy, because democracy is under attack as well.
Yeah,
not only are we losing lives to COVID, we hit that 700,000 Friday. 700,000 people dead. So not only do you have that going on, you got the whole political climate is in an uproar. So
Yeah.
they're getting rid of all of that stuff, and people are filing lawsuits. Donald Trump is suing YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, but also I think it was the governor in Texas. I think it's the governor in Texas, Tanya.
That's showing
Um,
YouTube or showing
huh?
some or that is showing some type of social media network.
All of them. They're suing all of them. YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Saying they're suing them for no, they're putting sanctions on social media companies for suppressing what they call conservative political views.
Mm.
They feel like the social media companies are suppressing those views. Texas, yeah, Gregory Abbott. He just passed
Oh
a
yeah.
law last month sanctioning social media companies, yes, for suppressing conservative political speech. Yeah.
Well, we knew that Donald Trump was trying to do that some time ago, and it just wasn't going through. And
Say again.
I said Donald Trump was trying to do that about what his last year in office.
He
He
sued
was
him in
trying to do that.
July. He
Well,
sued
he
him in
just sued them
July.
in July, but he tried to sanction them back in his last term of office, I believe it was.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. He's sanctioned. Well, he's suing. He's basically suing because it's hurting him to not be able to, you know,
Right. I
he
mean,
don't have
he's gonna
access
do
to his base like he did before.
exactly, exactly. And while him, with him trying to allegedly run for presidency again, he need his fan base.
He needs that base. He can't get up. I didn't even hear much hoopla. He did a couple of rallies recently,
Oh,
and
really? I hadn't heard that.
I didn't hear much hoopla about it. North
No, that's very
Carolina
quiet.
and somewhere else.
Mm,
But yeah, the censorship is an issue. Um, because I don't know. It's a mixed bag of beans because I think basically everybody's voice needs to be heard.
to a
People,
degree, yeah.
huh?
I was saying to a certain degree, yes, that's true. I mean, the freedom of
Yeah,
speech
that's
is what
what.
gives you your information.
Right.
But when you're coming out here and you're just putting out a whole bunch of rhetoric and you're trying to, bully and tear down things, that's when you start having a problem. Because now we're
Yeah.
taking it to a whole different level. We're not using it as a platform to entertain, to teach, to put information out.
Right.
Now we're out here trying to tear people down and we're trying to make, destroy things and, bullying
Yeah.
people and bullying organizations. And that's when the stuff starts becoming out of hand. And,
Right.
you got to do something to stop that because that's just becoming a bit too much when you start getting all of that going on. And you got people out here that are being threatened about stuff because, someone doesn't like their opinion, doesn't like
Oh
the way they.
wow. These anti-vaxxers, they had an anti-vax protest in New York yesterday
Uh,
where they marched from Brooklyn to Manhattan. They got a big problem with anti-vax protesters showing up at school board meetings and hospitals. Now, why are they going to hospitals?
I
The people
mean,
are in there dying of COVID, and they're bringing their anti-vax rhetoric to the hospital. So
exactly.
they're and they're threatening and sometimes causing violence. So the
Yes.
FBI is getting involved with that now. Got to follow that. So, but yeah, that is the problem. But I wanted to give you the specific areas that Google, the new Google policy in terms of YouTube taking down channels. They're going against. Okay, so the new policy specifically prohibits content that promote anti-vax ideology. Number one, claims that the approved vaccines are dangerous and cause chronic health effects. 2, false claims related to disease transmission or contraction. 3, misinformation regarding substances contained in the vaccine. 4, claims that vaccines are being used to track or monitor people. That's the microchip theory.
Yeah, and that was the thing I told you that someone said to me where you probably can't even have a magnet that's going to stick to your arm. And remember, I was telling you about that. And I'm like, no,
Yes.
that is not happening. I can prove to you that that is so untrue.
This stuff is crazy.
It is. I mean, the thing is I understand that you can put a radioactive something and it can come in a liquid form. We know this.
Mhm.
But do you understand how much money that will cost? And do you understand how you got to administer that? It just can't be, I would not believe just something that you're going to do in a regular vaccine. That has to be something that's going to be carried out in a different format, I believe. So again, if you want to not take the vaccine, just say you don't want to take the vaccine, but to make up stuff about it that you don't know,
right? That's my thing.
That's the stuff that doesn't make any sense. Let it go, because I mean,
Right.
we've been taking vaccines for ages. This is nothing brand new. If this was something that just come out, then I could understand. Oh wait, hold on now. I don't know about that. This is something that we've never done before. But this is something that we've been doing since the first pandemic breakouts back in the 20s when they were doing different things with types of flu and pneumonias, and people were dying from them. And in the 50s, was it the 40s and 50s when they were dying from oh my gosh, what was that? Get me right this second. TB, tuberculosis.
Oh, TB, yeah, and
TB.
It was another one. Polio.
Yep, polio was another one.
It was something else.
So those were very chronic diseases and infections that were done in the 50s for sure, maybe late 40s, that people were dying from. And I remember, if you remember this movie that was out, it was called The Savoy. Vanessa Williams was in it.
Yeah, and not
Mario Van Peebles was in it.
Yeah.
Something on the Savoy, I believe it was. And they in that era back then, which was kind of like the Renaissance era, because they no, it wasn't the Renaissance era. I take it back.
Probably like Roaring 20s.
Yeah, no, it was later than that because it was in like the 40s and 50s. But it was a lot of entertainment still being done because they were doing it in New York, which the Savoy was a very well-known ballroom where African Americans used to go and dance on the weekend. Yeah. So they were losing a lot of people, especially African Americans in that time because of the TB. And I don't know if you remember, matter of fact, Jasmine Guy was in the movie. And she ended up dying from TB, and they were trying to find her. And if they did not have a way of finding their family and being able to do some type of contact to let them know that they had that individual and they had passed from it, they just ended up in a herd of death. And that's what that was back then. And the same thing started happening at the beginning of the pandemic with this pandemic, with this virus. This one here has, like you said, done more in terms of death than any of the flus that we've had. Because we understand, you're going to lose people that catch the flu. And we have deaths, but those numbers are not nearly as severe as what we're getting from the pandemic. I mean, the flu does not tell you that you need to wear a mask. The flu is not telling you not to touch surfaces. The flu is not telling you to go out unprotected or anything like that. So there's a total difference.
It's something different, and that's one of the things that they're worried about.
Just like TB, because just like TB, this is airborne. It's airborne.
Well, the thing that they're worried about now is because, see, the cases in the past, I guess, week or two, cases are actually going down.
Yeah.
And so, we're not out of the woods, but, hospitals is getting a little relief. People are recovering a little better. So a lot of the experimental treatments that they're doing is working, and people aren't contracting it as fast. So they figure we've gotten through basically the third wave. The fourth wave, they're looking to hit about November. And because it's going to be mixed with the flu season.
Right.
So
and that's why they're coming back. Trying to cut it off.
Exacerbate, yeah.
I was reading something, and I know everybody doesn't like Fauci. You know, you hear
Don't like who?
a lot of don't like Fauci. Dr.
Oh,
Fauci.
Dr. Fauci, yeah.
Yeah. And I was reading some stuff from him even yesterday or today, and he was saying, you know, we need to be again cognitive of the holiday season, gathering together as a family. They asked him what they thought his suggestions would be about it.
I was just looking at the CDC guidelines for the holidays. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were like, well, it's still a little bit too soon to tell where we might be in that area, if it's going to calm down and what they expect in terms of people being more having more people vaccinated and being able to, get some control. So he was just saying, I think it was on MSN, I was looking at it, and he just said, stay tuned. He doesn't have his exact numbers and his suggestions as to what to do and how to work that right now. I mean, but again, it's still highly recommended to keep your gathering small.
Because, you're gonna have to. I mean, it's not gone.
It's not. And you still have a lot of families.
There are a couple, because while the Delta variant remains the dominant variant, it still has mutated a couple more times since then with the Lambda and the Mu. Exactly. So we still have several variants running around. Plus, it's still mutating. You still got 70 million. I think they said 70 million eligible unvaccinated people.
And the fact that it's transmitting.
So we don't know the full scope of the total number of people. It's still a lot of unvaccinated people running around.
Oh, so yes. And then the fact
that gatherings, please.
Consider also the transmission of it now is that it's hitting the younger generations, the children.
It's hitting
you're talking about you're talking about the children, between 5 and 10 years old, 5 to 12 years old that are definitely spreading it more. Yeah. So you're talking a whole new population of people that is now spreading it more than it was a year ago, because it was more so in adults
and more severe in their the disease is more severe. Right. So you're talking about, teenagers and young. I think a 20-something-year-old died a week or so ago, I heard, and whatever. But it's still. But I want to give out the areas that, in terms of YouTube and their new policy. So I went over the first few claims that they're prohibiting content with claims that the approved vaccines are dangerous and cause chronic health effects. False claims related to disease transmission and contraction, misinformation regarding substances contained in the vaccine, claims that vaccines are being used to track or monitor people, and claims that vaccines cause autism, cancer, or infertility. This was the issue with Nicki Minaj a couple of weeks ago when she said her cousin's friend in Trinidad testicles swell up after he got the vaccine, and he's now impotent. So that's why they went into an uproar about that. Then remember, we had the lady on here in the chat last week talking about autism and all of that stuff. So I guess they're just cracking down on. I guess they're sick of it. And these are the thing is, when you're talking about First Amendment rights and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is you're trying to tear down something that you're trying to tear down stuff that you are only getting bits and pieces of information from, because you're not a scientist. You're not out
not
here.
Even bits and pieces of information, because they're not even listening. The thing that is so dangerous to me about the conspiracy theories and the anti-vax propaganda is that They are no longer listening to science at
At
all.
all. At all.
See, this is the thing for me. They're not even consulting science. The whole agenda is based and rooted in the rhetoric.
Yeah.
It's not like even rational
No,
to
it's
me
not.
anymore. Yeah,
It's not.
it's not rational anymore. So that's the issue. But then you got to look at in terms of, the censorship is tricky. It's tricky. It's tricky
Mhm.
because of that. If when you start cracking down in this area, it's gonna be a spillover, and it's it's something to watch. It's definitely. And then with the Facebook, this whistleblower and what she's doing, and all of the internal documents that she released to the Congress and to the Wall Street Journal. I guess she leaked it to Wall Street Journal first. But I was watching the Senate hearings from that yesterday, and she's talking about the algorithms and how they are targeting children.
Yes. I was like,
As
wow.
young as 8 years old. That's what Congress is. They are really
But
mad
I
about
mean,
that.
I guess I look at it like this. As a parent or guardian or
No,
whatever,
but
how
that's
is
what
this
she's saying. They're bypassing the way that they have it set up. Is something with the algorithms, and I have to get all of the information to really understand how it all works. But it's something with the algorithms where they are bypassing like parental controls and stuff, like allowing children to open uh blind accounts where their parents can't find them and all of that kind of stuff. And they do that, from what she says, is to boost the numbers because they get their money from advertisers. That's how they're able to pay content creators. They
right?
get a
That's
percentage and we get a percentage, those that are monetized. So at that point, when those advertising dollars come in, they can say, look, we have billions and billions of followers that you can put your products in front of. So it's basically, I guess she's saying the accusation is that they're doing it to pad their numbers to look
right.
even bigger.
Exactly.
So it's like for profit. And she's saying she doesn't think Mark Zuckerberg did it on purpose. It's just they're doing things to make money, but they're not looking at the adverse effect, because what is happening is that the children are now getting targeted and they're being trafficked and all of that. Even the January 6th insurrection, she's saying they were able to gather and share information and plan that whole coup on Facebook.
Right. Exactly. And the thing is, it's just like you said, it's money. Money is the top of everything. Because money gives power. Power gives you the ability to do what you want to do. So all of those things are what make everything happen.
But see, the thing is they are private companies.
Right.
They're
And I
not
mean, you can't control
subject.
them.
Yeah, you have been. So I think what's going to happen, definitely regulations are going to come in, and they had, I know they had Mark Zuckerberg up there in Congress before, and
Yeah, they
he
did.
made some alterations. But she's saying they did that after the January 6th coup. But as soon as everything quieted down, they turned those algorithms right back on. And
Hmm.
then the violation of privacy and all of those types of things, because they are able to track us in terms of what will get us to click, what will keep us. There's a mental health condition, Tanya. Wait a minute. It's a mental health condition called Facebook addiction disorder. FAD.
What?
It's a mental health condition.
I mean, there are so many people that are so addicted to social media until it's just ridiculous.
Well, they have entire treatment modalities for Facebook addiction. I guess it would be relative to all social media platforms, but it's specifically called Facebook addiction disorder. It refers to the excessive compulsive use of the site with the aim of altering mood despite any negative consequences. Social networking sites like Facebook offer the obvious advantage of frequent and convenient interpersonal communication. But this condition is defined by the hours spent on Facebook, where where the person spends so much time that it in fact affects adversely affects the healthy balance of the individual's life. So yeah, it's a but what she's saying is the format of these social media companies, because it's interaction driven, like how our videos are shown. They push them out when we ask people to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button,
Right.
all of that kind of stuff. It's because it shows the platform that we have people engaging with the content. That
Right.
and so when you have the more of that you have, the more they'll show your videos and push them out. Other
Right.
than that, they'll suppress them. That is
Right.
how it works.
Right, because I know someone was telling me like, well, instead of hitting like, hit the heart because the heart gets out faster and it gives more
I don't
algorithm
know about
numbers
that.
or something. And that was one thing I heard. And then like in other things that have been live on Facebook that you're doing them, and it'll tell you, hey, hit the likes and hit the hearts while you're in my live Facebook.
I don't
And I
think
guess
that's
I don't know how that works, but I know I've been in like a couple of chats and different things, and they'll say, hey, do me a favor, hit the likes and hit the hearts, and you know how those likes and those hearts will float and whatever. So I don't know if that's giving some type of algorithm numbers or what it's doing.
I don't think so. Our interaction is positive in terms of them pushing your videos out
Mm,
on
okay,
YouTube. Um, Even a thumbs down is it. The point is interaction.
right. That somebody is looking and watching and
If
paying
if, if
attention
you
to your
cause
stuff.
that person to either all they're looking for is for reaction. Your content caused that person to feel something enough to either say, hey, I like this and hit that button, or I hate this and hit that button.
Mm.
They just want because they want the data, period, good
Now I
or
wonder
bad.
how does that work on like Instagram? Because Instagram, all you can do is
It's
hit a.
probably the same thing because Facebook owns Instagram and WhatsApp.
Right.
YouTube, well, Google owns YouTube.
Who owns Twitter? That's still part of
Twitter is independent. Twitter is independent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was part of it too. But I guess the thing is like I said, like when you're going on, like I'm not a big Instagram fan, but the Instagram thing, all you can do is hit the heart. You don't have any other choice. You can't hit a sad face. You can't hit a
No.
thumbs up. All you can do is hit a heart.
Yeah.
And I mean, and to me, all it is a bunch of pictures and videos. That to
Right.
me that you just scroll through. I don't, to me, it's not as interactive as Facebook can be. Because
No,
Facebook,
it's not. It's more. Instagram is a visual platform, and that's the one that she is complaining that Whistleblower on Facebook uh, is complaining about the most in terms of how they are adversely affecting children's mental health,
mm,
because children don't know how to process rejection and stuff like
right,
that, and
exactly.
they're
And they were
not
just
getting
saying that
the
about
likes and all of that.
right. They were just saying like that about well actually it was more Facebook. They were saying that and this just came out like on September the 14th and they said Facebook knows well you're right, it is Instagram. They said Facebook knows Instagram is toxic for teen girls.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
they were
yeah.
saying the researchers had conducted a mental health survey in 2019 that found that 14% of the boys in the US and Instagram, hold on, let me see if I can find it because I don't want to quote it wrong. Oh no, I can't get it because that's on the Wall Street Journal, and I'm not logged in Wall Street Journal. But that was one of the things they were talking about, and like you said, the mental health of America, on Instagramming for these young teens and things like that. And then they were showing some other stuff saying, well, this is your
But
brain off of
they're talking
Facebook.
about the teens, but I think that it affects all of our mental health.
I
Really.
do too.
Because if I have somebody, and this has happened to me, if I'm like I'm a Facebook user, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have people that I'm always liking their posts and commenting and stuff like that, and they don't reciprocate, I actually feel some kind of way about that.
Right, because it's like, okay, I've been sitting here saying and responding to your stuff, but you don't never respond to either the
You
message
don't
I put,
never say nothing,
or
no.
right, or you don't
It's
even
like
respond
a
to my
shame.
page, right? And if you post something, they're not responding to you. So it does, and it it does
feel
start
okay.
stuff.
Why are you on my page? If you don't like nothing I say or post,
Right,
are you
exactly.
just spying on my page? You know, it affects you.
It does. You're absolutely right. Because you can turn around and see somebody that posts something and they get 400 and something, response, and you be like, I ain't give it 20. And I thought,
Right.
he's like, how did this happen? And we got a lot of the same, friends and
Yeah.
people that are that we're connected to, and they're getting all of these likes and things like that. And like you said, I can't get 25.
Yeah.
What is that?
So it's a valid point in terms of mental health. Absolutely valid.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just the kids.
Right.
It's not just the kids. People get on social media and beef, and it's still and then
Yes.
they find each other. And
that was one of the reasons why I didn't get on Facebook for a very long time.
It took you a long.
It took me a long time because I was like, I'm not dealing with that. I think it's a bunch of nonsense and da 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 da.
Right.
And what just pushed me to really get involved with it is because I had relocated, and it was a way to connect with family, distantly without having to make a
that's
phone
when
call.
you got on when you moved
Right.
out of state. Yeah.
And actually, I had built a page and was a year and wasn't even using the page. And then finally, a couple of people, my cousins, did a friend request, and I started following and talking with them, and that kind of pushed me and boosted me to say, okay, I'm finding some fun in this. I'm liking this, so let me just go ahead on and start getting involved in it a little more. And then when I first got into it, I found myself on it 4 or 5 times a day, every morning saying hello.
Checking it all day. I had to take it off my phone.
Yes, exactly. Because I'm like, okay, wait a minute, hold on. What am I getting out of this? Somebody write me a check? No. What's the value of me really sitting here wasting all this time doing this when I should be doing something else?
Yeah,
so
it's a problem.
You have to pull back.
It's a problem for real.
Yes,
it's a problem.
You have to
pull
back.
There's an actual condition, and I want to get off into this some more because I want to show a video. It looks like the Black population has gotten up to 12% vaccination as well in the past month since September the 21st.
Well, I told you
it's still low.
Yeah, very. Last weekend, here in Atlanta, in the Metro Atlanta area at Stonecrest Mall, Chris Tucker, he started He started talking about and inviting people to come out to the mall to get the vaccine, and he would be there to visit with them and things like that. So he made a special guest appearance, and I think I told you that the news reported that they got like 2,100 people vaccinated that day, which was great numbers. But considering the numbers that we really need, that's not even 1%.
See, that's the whole thing. You don't think about, because they're saying 77% of the adult population. Now, this was again a study. Who did this? I think Kaiser Family Foundation again. This one was published on September the 22nd. They are a great resource in terms of tracking COVID based on race and ethnicity. I mean, the CDC does have is documenting it as well, and certainly at the state level. but they're not documenting race they're not tracking race ethnicity numbers at the state level, only at the national level. So
Okay.
they're only looking at numbers in terms of breaking it down like that by demographic in terms of the across the country. And then you have to go to your separate state websites,
To get those numbers
your
based off
Department
of race and
of
ethnicity.
Human Resources or whomever, to actually get your state data.
Okay. So like you said, we know the red states are very low. Their numbers have been very low from the beginning.
Tennessee
Very low.
and all of them,
Well, they said Mississippi's numbers in terms of deaths for COVID, they had more deaths from COVID than they did for babies being born for 2021.
Yeah. It's bad. Florida. That's what I'm saying. Like in Florida, the governor is advocating anti-mask mandates, blocking mask mandates in the school system for kids and stuff like that. Now his kids, and Roland Martin told this, while his kids go to private schools with mask mandates, he's telling the poor people with the children in the public schools to fight mask mandates. And now the Supreme Court, I think, has held up his decision, I believe.
Right. Well, we've had a lot of that here in Georgia, and especially in the county that I live in, which is Cobb County. They've been having oodles of school board meetings and things like that with the parents protesting the mask mandates for the children, talking about the issues and what's going on. I don't understand why you're fighting this so much. And there's ways to they're trying to protect everybody. So why are you fighting this so much? I mean, we've had a couple of teachers that have passed away the month of September. I think like 5 teachers that they were introducing. And
there's some more funeral home directors too.
Yeah, so it's like, why is it such a big thing and fight about this? I mean, just wear the darn mask. Just wear the darn mask. And I mean, there's still a lot of people that are out in public that are not wearing their mask. And I mean, I don't know if those people are vaccinated and they feel safe. And I mean, I know that there's some people, especially in the religious sector, that says, "Hey, I have faith in God, and I have faith that there is nothing out here like a vaccine for COVID that's gonna take me down and do this to me and do that to me." And you're well within your right to feel and think that way. But understand too, God also gives you common sense and tells you to protect yourself. So if the mask is one way to protect yourself, getting the vaccine is a way to protect yourself.
I saw something interesting, because now they're saying that people who are fully vaccinated are less likely to transmit the disease. But I have to go back and look at it and see where check the source for one, and where they're getting that information from.
Like I said, for me, I just don't see the reason for taking the risk. I just don't.
Besides that, we know that there's breakthrough infections. So you put on the mask just to protect yourself, even if you're not infectious to anybody else.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You still need it.
I mean, and then you got people out here doing foolish stuff, just like that lady that was in the supermarket. I think she was in Trader Joe's, that was coughing all over that family. You don't have it. I don't have it. See, that type of stuff like that.
That lady's baby.
Yes, I mean, not only am I ready to knock your block off if you were to do something like that to me, but the fact of the matter is, if you stop putting this out here in the air, I mean, and I don't have a mask on and I get sick, where the hell are you?
Right.
Where are you? You won't know anything about it. But I'm someplace laying up.
They got that lady fired. And see, that's what I'm saying about privacy issues on these platforms as well, that definitely needs to be tightened up, because it is not hard to find people. That very lady that you are talking about,
right? She was terminated.
The lady posted that she was coughing on. When she posted that video, the people on Twitter found the lady and got her fired from her job. They found her. The Twitter followers.
That's
that
amazing.
You can find people too easily. It's not good. I want to run this ad real quick. We're going to continue the conversation. This is for Marvin's company. We'll be right back after this brief message from one of our sponsors.
Hello, I'm Christina with Institute of Supportive Services, where we believe in no senior left behind. With the utilization of methadone, we are able to treat opiate addiction and get our seniors back to living a normal life with their loved ones.
We offer recreational therapy along with personalized care. No senior is left behind at the Institute of Supportive Services. Call us today at 313-733-4528.
All right, that was Institute of Supportive Services here in Detroit, Michigan for opiate detox services, mental health services, senior services, and treatment, mental health and therapeutic services. I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue twisted. For therapeutic services as well as recreation. And they have a very nice program over there. Give them a call if you are interested. Now, that's one of the things we were talking about, the lady that was coughing on people. The privacy issue on social media is a huge problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge problem because people can find you very, very easily. They
Yeah,
really can.
and like you said, I don't know how she felt being terminated. Did it matter to her? I don't know. It may not have meant
I'm
anything to
sure.
her because she probably could go someplace else and be hired and do what it is she does. But nonetheless, it does help to see that people are taking this seriously when people are going out here and doing all of these ignorant things and thinking that it's okay for you to do that. It's just not acceptable. I
Right.
mean, it just isn't.
It's
You just gotta,
unacceptable. If there
yeah,
was no COVID, you don't cough in people's faces and
at
talk on
all. I
little
mean,
babies.
really.
I mean, come on, this is crazy.
I mean, and then the fact of the matter is that you do this and you act like there's nothing wrong with it. Oh, don't worry about
Yeah,
that. You're
yeah,
not
like it was
sick just
funny.
because you're wearing a mask. That's not needed. Don't do this. Don't do that, lady, sir. Please go somewhere
Yeah,
with all of that.
yeah, absolutely. Like you said, it's not cute, but yeah, that. It's gonna be interesting to see how all of this stuff plays out in terms of this censorship thing, because Facebook, I think, definitely is going to make a lot of changes. It's too much. From what it looks like, I watched about almost 4 hours of those Senate hearings yesterday, and I'm telling you, she leaked.
Mm.
She dropped a dime, quarter, and everything else. I think they're going to go after them, Facebook, big time. I think it's going to be a
Yeah,
lot of change. I think the platform is going to change.
yeah, I think that, like you said, they're getting ready to clean this up, tighten it up, and get information off and out of the way that does not make sense. They're trying to get away from targeting people that are out here doing all of this stuff and getting information that's not working for them. And then, like you said, the biggest thing is our children. When you're going out here and
Yeah,
you're doing this for our children, I mean, come on, that's just
yeah,
ridiculous. I mean,
yeah.
everything should have a cutoff, and if you're out here putting this type of stuff out here and you're using children, then that's not right because now you've gone here and you've taken over my job as a parent by telling them something and giving them information that they
Exposing them
don't
to
need to
things that
hear.
I may be
Yeah,
against.
that I don't want them to hear.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely,
no, we don't want to do that.
absolutely,
And then the next thing I say, well, then
absolutely.
take your children off of social media, take them off of social media, and that's really what you end up
That's
having to do.
impossible. They use social media in school now.
Everything, yes. I mean,
I'm
even my
saying they're taking tests and everything because they're trying
yes,
to teach these kids how to be
how to use
internet
it,
literate and all of
yes,
those
how to
types of
use
things.
it.
So
I
you
mean,
can't
it's
hide them from it.
this has been the thing for the last what, at least 12, 15 years about
A
using the internet.
long
I mean,
time,
and I'll just give a
longer than
perfect
that.
example. My grandbaby, she was probably, I don't know, 2 years old, if that. And
And could use the internet, couldn't
look,
she?
I wasn't even using, a internet-based phone at the time. So we were sitting someplace and my phone rang, and I used to keep my phone in my bra.
Yeah.
Sorry to say that. And she saw it, she heard it ring, and she grabbed it, and she was like, "Your phone is broke." phone is broke because the screens weren't moving and doing all these different things. I said, no, Mimi's phone just doesn't do all of that. And she was looking at me like, huh? My mama's phone does it. My daddy's phone does it. You know, all of these people that she's dealing with, they got this phone. And I thought, Lord have mercy, I got to change it, upgrade my phone. And
Yeah.
that's what pushed me into getting a phone that was more internet savvy and, you know, doing the things that I was doing because I was like, all right, all I need to do is make a call, leave a message, and text. All the
Right.
other
I
stuff,
was
I
barely
don't need it.
texting for a long time.
Yeah, I was like, I don't need all of this stuff on my phone. I'm not paying that kind of money for a phone. Heck, you can't get a
You
decent phone for under, you know, anywhere between $500 to $1,000 now. I mean, really.
Oh yeah. But you know, I just got rid of a phone. I've had that phone probably about 3 years. It was so bad. The day that I had to go get a phone, I was mad. I was like, shoot, it wouldn't even charge no more. It wouldn't even take a charge no more. But I, you know, because I don't use all of that stuff. Not on the phone. I do it.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know, on
there's
the
still a
computer,
lot of
but
stuff on my
I don't
phone
use
that I
all that
don't use for sure. But I mean, like you said, it's a mini computer. It's a
Yeah,
mini
that's all it
computer.
is.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like you said, I could be on my break. I could be sitting waiting to do something, and I'm going to get on my phone, look at some news. I'm going to look at this. I'm going to look at that. I mean, there's just nothing else for me to do if I'm sitting there waiting but to get on my phone and start looking through my phone and see what's going on. Okay, let me check the news. Oh, let me look at
Yeah.
my emails. Let me do this. Let me do this. I
Oh
would be,
yeah, sitting at the doctor's office
yeah,
and
yeah.
you know,
You just
whatever
feel
while
lost
you're
without it.
waiting.
You feel lost
It,
without it.
oh yeah, yeah. I want to show this article because I want to make sure that we cover this as well in terms of the because we started this conversation last week about the celebrities and how
Oh,
they
yeah, yeah.
influence
And the
public
NBA
health.
players.
And yeah, so I want to talk about this guy, Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins, who is he with, the Golden State Warriors or somebody? I'm not sure.
Hold on, I'm getting ready to check for you now. Um,
I think he's with the Golden State Warriors.
okay, the one that I have that has been a lot of talk about because even Fauci responded to him, and his name is Kyrie Irving, and I'm not sure what team he's on, but he is I think it's a Brooklyn Net. So and so they're saying that as far as these NBA players are concerned that are not becoming vaccinated, they're going to start being fined. And this is going to
Yeah.
cost them a lot of money, you know, being fined per game. And one of the ones they were talking about, this Kyrie, what is his name? Kyrie Irving was going to be fined, you know, a couple $1,000,000 a game.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, I know this guy Andrew Wiggins. His fines were going to be somewhere up in there too. He refused to get the vaccine, and then
Hmm.
he finally, I guess, the other day, finally went on
Oh,
ahead
him. Okay, okay, I remember him now.
and
Yes.
he did a press conference saying that he felt forced to take the vaccine and that he hopes he's still healthy in 10 years. Now that's what he reportedly said during this press conference. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
And
So
you
for
had him, and then
Irving,
you had LeBron James,
he
who
said that
is
was
fully vaccinated, but he
right.
said, I'm not advocating for it.
Yeah, he said it's not my job, and technically it's my personal business about me being vaccinated. So yeah, so
It is.
for that guy that I was just telling you about this Irving, he could lose $400,000 in each game missed for not being vaccinated. And then like you said, Andrew Wiggins, he was at first trying to obtain religious exemptions to forego the vaccine, but I guess that didn't work out. And then
He
of
was the
course
first to do what?
he wanted to obtain religious exemption to forego
Oh,
getting
yeah,
the
and they didn't
vaccine.
approve it.
Yeah, so it was
Well,
declined.
that's because, hold on a second. But you know what? That is because all of these, okay, so what is happening with the religious exemptions is that um, these major faith uh, organizations are coming out saying that they advocate support people getting the vaccines. The Pope said it. I think they showed the Pope on TV getting his vaccination.
Yeah.
And, all of these other major religions are saying, no, we think people should get the vaccine. So people are having a hard time with that religious exemption, because they're what the government is doing is, I guess, consulting the religious stance of their organization. Yeah.
Because what you're doing is you're using it as a note to say, hey, because I'm this religion, I'm not going to be able to get the vaccine. When in all actuality, you're not that religion. So you're using something that is not even what you are. So you're trying to take advantage of something for somebody that is truly involved in that religion, and that's hurtful for them, because that means you're not respecting their religion. You're just using it because you don't want to get the vaccine, and you got to figure something else out. And like you said, we talked about how Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he really ripped them and talked about them being unvaccinated, and how the players' arrogance and high profit. Yeah, exactly. And we know a lot of times Muslims are definitely against anything that's related to vaccines, blood transfusions, those type of health situations. They're totally against that. But he's saying, hey, you got to realize you out here playing, you're exposed to the fans, you're exposed to people that are working these games, to your teammates, and you're exposing them to all of this. And these people are becoming sick and all these different things. Come on, smarten up. Let's be respectful. Let's be responsible and get vaccinated. And then the thing about it too is, again, when you start looking at the entertainment industry, including sports, and these people are getting more involved in getting the vaccine, that carries weight to make the public say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and look at getting it. Other than that, all you're doing is, again, you've got people hitting a brick wall, because they're following and they're looking at this entertainment industry, and they're looking at these sports individuals, and they're following and saying, nope, if they're not doing it, we're not going to do it either. Because they're, in their minds, they're leaders to them. There's some type of leadership for them. So it is not good.
I want to show this article that I came across, and I thought it was really, really good. Let me see if I can share it on the screen, and then that way you can see it, because it talks about how why people even follow athletes, and how the celebrities influence public health. Let me see if I guess that's as big as it'll get now. I don't want that one. So I guess that's the biggest that I can get it. But this article, it says, how does it celebrities influence public health decisions? And one of the things, well, it's several things. You mentioned about how they looked up to people, and they mentioned Angelina Jolie too, and the positive effect she had on cancer screenings.
Right.
Let's see. And then they cover issues relating to the anti-vax movement. But I was saying, why is it that people even follow celebrities anyway?
I don't understand their influence and why they follow them either. I really don't.
I didn't know we were still doing that.
Yeah, I would never. That would be never.
Not based on my decision.
Exactly, especially something dealing with my health. Oh no. No. Like I said,
it's not even a thought. I mean,
not at all. Not at all. And especially if you're somebody that has something like a medical condition or whatever, like we talked about before, I'm not listening to you. I'll end up dead.
Exactly. So they found they did some type of analysis, and they broke it down into 5 categories as to why what this phenomenon is in terms of people listening to celebrities for their health decisions. The categories are economics, marketing, psychology, and sociology. And basically what they're saying is, okay, when you talk about celebrity endorsements act as a signal of superiority, distinguishing endorsed forms of treatment and opinions from the alternatives. People also have a tendency to make decisions based on what others have done in similar situations. In this instance, people often want to follow their favorite celebrities' footsteps. So one of the reasons why it happens, in which, okay, I can see this one, because what they're saying is that when these celebrities, the reason why companies do these celebrity endorsements, you know, basketball players with the shoes or the cars and all that kind of stuff, is because it gives it that particular product, or in the case of a product situation, it gives that product
value. It makes them think that you get
legitimacy.
this. Yeah, maybe that's the word.
Yeah,
It makes it look like if you get these, you're gonna be cool. You get this, you're gonna have this kind of look, and you're gonna have people checking you out and following you. So people are looking at that, going, "Ooh, yeah, I want people looking at me and checking me out, and I want to be part of the in crowd and the who and all of that stuff." And I mean, yeah, that's exactly true. I can
yeah.
see
So
that. I can see that.
I can definitely see that, because it does it gives it a stamp of approval. It makes it look, like you said, cool or sexy or glamorous and things like that. And so that's one of the things. And then they said people also as far as marketing, people often see attributes in celebrities that they respect and wish to emulate. This respect can lead people to follow the advice and actions of celebrities in the hope of acquiring these traits. Now that is crazy. It's called the halo effect, whereby the success of celebrities give them a cloak of generalized trustworthiness that extends well beyond their industry of expertise. So they're saying, okay, not only do people want to emulate attributes in celebrities that they admire, that they follow what they do and say in the hopes of acquiring those traits. Really?
Which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. I mean, absolutely bananas.
That is crazy. So So this is what we're dealing with. Plus, it gives them and now I can see this as well, where it gives them a cloak of generalized trustworthiness that extends well beyond their industry of expertise. Okay, so they're an actor. I remember when Suzanne Summers had some kind of bogus treatment for anti-aging.
Right,
From Three's.
And you had everybody out here running out here trying to get that, to get rid of the wrinkle, the fold, or whatever that was in their face and chin to try to look like her.
It was totally bogus, but because, and I mean, she has, of course, she's not a doctor of any sort, but because she's a well-known celebrity, what they're saying is that people are gonna trust her in general. So when it comes to anything medical, it even though they know she's not a doctor in this case, whether it's her or any other actor, they know they're not doctors, but the idea that they trust these people, because a lot of times we do feel like we know celebrities personally. It does, Nene Leakes off of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Her husband died a couple weeks ago, and I literally shed a few tears because I've watched him on that show since the beginning. And I really felt grief that he passed away. So
yeah, and I can get that, because when I heard it, it touched me. I'm like, oh my God, how long have we been watching and following them, and to just know that he had been going through all of this, and now he's finally taking his last breath and he's gone. It was a lot. Yeah, you can.
You really do.
And you felt for her and her family. Like, oh my gosh, you lost your
Right.
husband, and that was really tragic. You know, it was a reason to feel that way.
It really is, and it's amazing how that happens. But you actually do feel a personal connection with people that are on TV. But this is real, and it has a lot to do with how we're socialized in this country as well. But I want to give all of the other ones. So the psychology aspect is that beliefs and practices that are endorsed by celebrities come to elicit the positive responses many people associate with their favorite celebrities. Images projected by celebrities are often used to define individuals' self conception so that their advice may be compatible with an individual's idea of self and push them to follow that advice. Ain't that something? Also,
Wow.
people typically desire to maintain mental consistency. Ignoring a favorite celebrity's medical advice may conflict with their adoration for that celebrity. See, now that's dangerous.
Very. Because people are so easy to be led. Once you get in their head, it's over
Yeah,
with.
yeah,
It's over with. That's once they get in their head, it's done. They'll
yeah,
start believing it. I mean, like you said, they'll start believing that they're even your mate or something, and that's when stalking becomes involved or alleging things that they're involved
yeah.
with you, and they ain't had nothing to do with you. Just like remember the song "Billie Jean" by Michael Jackson. Remember the lady said she was actually the Billie Jean. She
Yes,
had
and she was looking for him or something, wasn't
Yes,
she?
she was actually out here stalking him, and she was like in her 50s or something like that, late 40s or
Right.
50s, good and grown. And she was like, "I'm Billie Jean. I'm who he's singing about, and
Wow.
all of that kind of stuff." These type of things had people just, like you said, her whole psyche was done. She had in
Yeah.
her head that she was his mate, that Michael Jackson was her
That's
man.
happened a lot of times. It was some girl that was real popular when we was young. Tanya, I can't remember her name now. I think she was on that show One Day at a Time and some other stuff, but
Mhm.
maybe on the soap operas or something. She was really popular when we were kids. And the guy came, found her house. He had been stalking her forever. He finally figured out where she lived, traveled across state lines or wherever he was coming from, and went to her front door. When she opened up the door, he shot her, killed her.
Ooh, I
And
remember that.
yeah, I can't remember her name though, but it's a huge problem. But so yeah, so what they're saying is that beliefs and practices endorsed by celebrities um, elicit positive responses from people who associate with their favorite celebrity. Images
Hmm.
projected by celebrities are often used to define individuals' self conception. That is just I had to read that
Yeah.
again because that's really that's deep. So
I mean,
that their
that has
advice can be
happened.
compatible with the
Yeah, that has happened with several celebrities being stalked and stuff like that by fans because
yeah,
in their head they've already said, "Oh, this is my such and such," or "I'm into this person because of this," or "I'm into that person because of that." So they believe this stuff, and it, like you said, how do you break that? How do you stop that?
oh
That
well,
is
that's mental health treatment. That's medication. Anything
right. But
from
the psychology is what has
therapeutic
started it because it's
intervention to
got
medication. Yeah,
yeah. But
yeah,
majority of the time they
that's
don't seek that
crazy.
help and they don't seek that medicine because they don't think they need it.
Yeah, because they don't think of them, and you don't think of that as in terms of somebody like that. Their inner circle would have to identify it as a problem, like they have some type of obsession with somebody on television or something like that. Because when you talk this from what this is saying, it's saying that these people get their self identification from the images and the beliefs and the practices of celebrities of people they see on TV.
Right.
So when you have see this is but we need to understand this stuff because this is what you have. I told you I was looking at what was it last week when we were on. I was telling you I was looking at the comedian Eddie Griffin, and it's another comedian
Right.
now that's done one talking about telling people not the
Yeah, not to get
vaccines or
vaccinated.
whatever.
Right. Tell them don't get vaccinated.
All kind
And I
of
mean,
negative, unfounded information about the vaccine in their own personal choices. See, that's projection.
yeah.
So
And you
those
got
that
people,
follow him,
right? They will believe and say, "Hey, he said not to do it. I'm not doing it."
yeah.
Not
Look,
looking
see,
at
even and
that's huge.
so that explains the numbers, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so here we go. Newsworthiness. This is the sociological perspective. Newsworthiness and the star quality of celebrities allow them to feature prominently within social networks and achieve great influence. People purchase celebrity by acquiring celebrity products, mimicking their lifestyles, and heeding their medical advice, the authors write. Doing so gives individuals social capital, raising their social status. And that is absolutely true.
You
I
can take
see.
that for body image. Body image is a good one. They go out here and they see all these celebrities going out here
All
doing all of
those
these.
elective surgeries and all of that
Exactly.
stuff.
And they
Yeah.
want to go out here and do the same thing
Yeah.
because they want to emulate what that star looks like.
Yeah. It's very interesting. But this is the things that this is a very good article. And but you want to look at stuff like that because it helps to explain what is going on. Although we're talking specifically about vaccines, number one, it explains the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You're talking about now we're up to about 12%. So you might have 6 million, people out of 46 million. You still got 40 million more black folks
I mean, and that
that's
is
still
so
walking around
ridiculously,
unvaccinated.
yes, that is so ridiculously low. And I was really surprised that our community was going to step back like that. I
Yeah,
really did. And especially when we saw how hard hit we were hit by by COVID. So I
yeah,
figured and thought, oh yeah, once we get
yeah.
out here
You
and get
would
this
think,
vaccine,
yeah,
people gonna go out here and get that vaccine. That you're gonna be standing in the line trying to get a vaccine because they're gonna be out here trying to protect themselves. But it just
it
wasn't
was the
that way.
opposite. It was the
Yeah, it
opposite.
was.
And then it was some governor that got on the news and said, well, the unvaccinated, the problem is the black community. And I said, where did he get that from? Because I was
Right.
like you, I had no idea that this was going on. And I'm like, oh, although what he said is untrue, but the point of it was that was the first inclination that there was even a problem with vaccinations in the black
Right.
community.
Exactly.
Because
And then
when I heard him say that, I'm like, what is he talking about?
right. And here we are now, we're like what, 8 months into, close to 8 months with having the vaccine, being out
Yeah,
publicly, was
probably
able to
about
get
8
it.
months. Yeah.
And now look at employers and how they've had to make changes to try to even keep employees. Hey, if you don't go get the vaccine, we're going to increase your health care rate. If you don't get the vaccine, we're not going to cover you if you get sick. The insurance companies are saying and things now. So you're putting all of these things out here to try to see what you can do to move people to get them to go out here and be vaccinated. And it's not doing that great of a job. I mean, it's helping in some aspects, but not as much as you would have considered
No.
and would have thought. Like, let me see. I know, like one of the large healthcare systems here in Atlanta, WellStar Health. I think the employees have until I think it's the end of this month that if they don't have the vaccine, that they're going to be losing their jobs.
Yeah.
And people are willing to say, okay, I'll just lose my job. I mean, the thing with United Airlines this past Friday, I think it was, they said almost several thousand of their employees ended up going ahead on and getting the vaccine to avoid losing their job.
Was that Delta Airlines or somebody?
No, no. Delta said that they were going to increase their health care by $200 a month. So
Well,
their numbers
I think
increased.
they released another statement saying I think their vaccination. I think they said about 70% of their employees are
Yes,
vaccinated,
exactly.
but
Now
they also said,
United Airlines was the ones that had almost oh gosh, I can't remember the numbers now. the several thousand, like 30,000 people or something like that were going to lose their jobs because they weren't
Right.
being vaccinated. That was
United.
United
That's what I'm
Airlines.
thinking about.
Yeah,
Not Delta. I said Delta.
But Delta says that they were increasing their employees' health premium if they weren't vaccinated. So, and it was going up by $200. So they ended up getting, I think, another like 30% of their employees went ahead on and became vaccinated because they didn't want to pay I can't get it out. They didn't want to pay that increase. Now the other part
On the health
is that
insurance. Yeah.
now the other part is coming out is that the healthcare industry is starting to say if you're unvaccinated, they're going to start denying claims. So
yeah.
you're
Well,
not going
there's
to be
always,
getting claims.
that's the thing with things like that. They're always going to implement economic sanctions.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a go to. I expected that to happen. Even like I said, next is going to be the life insurance companies refusing to pay the death benefits because you have a tool that right now what the government is saying is that the disease is completely preventable. Now, and like I said, there are people who cannot take the vaccine for whether it's biomedical or whatever. There are some people who just absolutely cannot take it. But one of the things that concerns me is that people are more afraid of the vaccine than they are of the virus itself.
Exactly.
And
because
the thing about it is a lot of things that they are attributing to the long-term effects of the vaccine is really the long-term effects of the virus.
COVID.
I've been looking at video after video. They're calling them long haulers.
Yes. Because it's affecting your motor skills,
damage, the lung damage, and all of the heart damage, and all of that stuff. That even though they recovered, Alyssa Milano, speaking of celebrities, Alyssa Milano, what was the little TV show she was on when we were kids?
Who's the boss?
Who's the boss? Yes.
Who's the boss?
Alyssa Milano had COVID and she did a video showing her hair loss every time she combed her hair. She's now recovered from it, but she said her hair falls out every day. She just about to comb fulls.
I mean, they were talking about the people with the problem with their motor skills, how they aren't able to, articulate their words and being able to move, and do things in a coordinated way. Like, you're getting ready to move and do something one way and you can't move your hand or your arm because you're waiting for your brain to connect to say, hey, I need to move my hand or my arm. So it's a lot. And it's a lot, like you said, I'd rather go ahead and take my chances on getting that shot, having the vaccine, as opposed to getting and catching the vaccine catching the virus and trying to recover from that.
Right, but the thing about it is it's not so much taking a chance. What you did is your due diligence to make sure that based on your biomedical history and things like that it was safe for you to take it and go ahead on and do what you got to do to protect yourself.
Right, but
that's all that you want. That's when we have these conversations every week. That is the goal of the conversation, is to help people, give them the information and help people try to make decisions as to whether or not it is safe for you based on the information that we have thus far. There's all kinds of things that can go wrong 10 years down the line. We understand that, but what we're trying to do is figure out. Now, the good thing that I want to make sure that I say this because there's a company called Merck. They have an experimental pill that they're trying to get approved to hit the market. You heard about it. That will treat COVID-19. So we're waiting on more.
And honestly, I'm more leery about the pill than I am taking these vaccines.
See, so because this is more experimental.
Because my thing is, how much of that do I have to ingest to be protected? How long do I have to take this? And you have, to me,
Well,
I
it just
feel,
says it's a daily pill. I don't know
yeah, I
how.
don't want to take a daily pill like that. And then what is it going to counteract with anything else that you may be taking? How about that? What is it
Yeah,
going to do
it could
if
be
you're taking?
contraindications.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it could be something, that's going to counteract if you're taking a blood pressure medication or diabetic medication
yeah,
or whatever. That to me, I don't want to take a pill every day. That's
yeah,
my thought. So I
yeah.
prefer having the vaccine, but somebody else maybe, I'll just take that pill every day. I don't want to be responsible for taking no pill every day to prevent me from getting that vaccine. I that's just
Well,
not
this
a
is
choice for
this
me.
the pill is actually to treat COVID, so it's not a preventative; it's a treatment.
I thought this was
So,
to help prevent it. That's not what I was
no,
reading. Let me see.
it's a treatment. Then they have the remdesivir that they are using experimentally with COVID with some success. Remdesivir is actually a antiviral drug. But they are having some success with it as well in treating COVID patients. So a lot more people are recovering from COVID as opposed to dying from it
Okay.
because of these experimental treatments that they have going on. So this is something that I'm gonna be following as well. But like I said, they are, what you're getting in terms of a lot of the anti-vax rhetoric, the having, promoting the fear of the vaccine and what they're attributing to the vaccine is really, things that really can be attributed to the virus. They're already now doing studies about how COVID-19 is going to cut life expectancy
Yeah,
because we have,
I can
like,
believe that.
all of our charts and all of that stuff is going to disrupt all of that, the current data that we have even on life expectancy because of the health complications,
I mean, it's
uh,
gonna be it's just gonna be like having,
medical
it's
and
gonna be like
mental.
cancer. It's gonna be just as severe as, like, getting cancer.
Yeah. And I think one of the most important things is to put everything in context of this as a public health crisis. Yes, we have to make individual decisions, but it has to be based on, we have to keep, that context of it being a public health crisis, like you said before in the beginning, and that keeps reverberating in my mind. This is a global pandemic. It's
Right. Well,
not
one of
like
it, it's not just America. Simple as that.
it's
But
not like it's in a concentrated area.
what I wanted
It's
to mention, before we were talking about, when it came to people that have conditions and pre-medical diseases and things already, where they were more likely to consider getting the vaccine. When you're talking about people that aren't actually regularly going to the doctor and not being treated by a physician, those are the ones that you are having the hardest time to convince to get the vaccine. They already aren't being treated for things that they already probably have, and they're not going to go ahead on and do the vaccine too. I mean, think about how many people that don't have health care, people that don't even seek medical treatment, period, or
right.
either they're self-medicating themselves to feel better, look better, be better. They're not thinking about that. I mean, they're thinking natural herbs, and so you have to be careful with natural herbs because natural herbs can do a lot of damage. They can turn around and counteract with a lot of different things
I
and put
told you
you
I
in.
can't fool with ginger root at all with
Hmm.
the heart thing. Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
take it.
you have to be careful about what you're taking in terms of natural herbs to heal and take care of your body. I mean, is it better to be able to do that? In most cases, it is. But the thing about it is expensive.
It's
Those types of
expensive. Yes.
medical insurance isn't covering it. So
Nope.
to go out here and to start doing herbal type treatments and keeping it up, it can cost you a whole lot of money.
Yeah,
And
it can. And that's
and what
one of the
happens when you
reasons,
stop taking it?
that's one of the things that bother me as far as a lot of the propaganda, because people that are a lot of times people will get out here and encourage stuff besides the spread of misinformation. Encourage something, and people are not in a position. Your average person, especially when you talk about in the Black community, we have the highest poverty rates and all kind of stuff.
Right. And we're the most, and we're the highest number for uninsured.
Highest anything negative, anti-Black racism, structural racism in healthcare. We got to make sure, just going to the doctor and hospital for regular stuff, that we're not getting.
Yeah, I mean the average rate for African American women not seeking prenatal care. You know what I'm saying? They did a study on
the highest death rate. More of our women die in childbirth.
Yes,
kind of stuff.
They're not seeking prenatal care.
Disparities are so great, and so when we start talking about buy this, buy that, and a lot of what I see from a lot of the anti-vaxxers in terms of their influence over the Black community is like, don't take the vaccine and go buy my new mineral oil.
Right.
Go to my website and I see a lot of that kind of stuff.
And that's not FDA approved at all. You don't have no nothing to tell me that what you're doing there works other than you pulling it out of your mouth. And I can't believe that. And then especially if you already have some type of health issues and stuff that you may have been trying to deal with on the low, and you need really medical treatment anyway. So why are you gonna tell me to take that? That could boost something else. Like, people don't realize being on a heart blood pressure medication, telling you, oh, I got a grapefruit and you do natural fruits and do this, it'll do that. No, a grapefruit juice and grapefruit for people that are on high blood pressure medication counteracts with that medication. Yeah. So it's going to kill that. And so that person could end up having increased blood pressure and start stroking out, having a heart attack or whatever. So you got to be careful.
All kinds of things. So it's very dangerous. Like I said, and then when you talk about the expensive, the cost that it is to have a holistic and a diet and all of that kind of stuff, you can't just go kosher food and all of that stuff. That stuff costs money. Most people cannot even afford that kind of stuff. Kim is here. Hi,
Kim. Kim's there.
Yeah.
I mean, just let me give you this example.
Kim, hit that link in the chat, Kim, and come on screen. Where are you at?
Yeah. Just think about the groceries. When they put groceries on sale, they put 3 bags of potato chips on sale for $5, but they ain't gonna never put the healthy chips on there, the baked lays and all those.
Absolutely not.
All you're gonna find is all the high fat, saturated, high dye stuff. That's what's gonna go on sale. You're not finding the things that's going to be healthier for you on sale. You're going to pay regular full price for that. How often can you just take a food stamp card and go shop in Whole Foods? No, you're not doing that.
I don't think they don't accept food stamp cards.
I'm not sure, but I mean, everything in there is expensive, right? Because they trying to keep a certain type of clientele. So to accept an EBT card would totally tear them apart. They'd be like, oh no, we can't have that in here. So but this is the store that they want you to eat at because they think that their stuff is better.
Right.
And sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. I can go in there and buy something.
They have something.
Some stuff is better and some of it isn't.
Hit that link, Kim, and come on screen. Come on screen, Kim. Kim is saying they do. Hold on. A mouse. She said hi, and she said they do. They do what? They accept food stamp cards or what? I know they have this. I'm putting the link in the chat, Kim. Come on screen. They have this flavored butter I want to try.
Walmart has those. That like honey butter. They're garlic something.
I don't know what all the flavors are, but I want to try that.
They have like a honey vanilla. The girl at work, she uses it a lot. They have like a honey vanilla. Then they've got a garlic something else, you know, so they do have it. I know Walmart has it, and it's a Walmart brand that they have as well. So you can go to
Okay.
Walmart and get it, and it's not as expensive if you were to go to Whole Foods and get it or something like that. But yeah, they definitely have it at Walmart.
Yeah, I want to try that to do with my you know, when I sear my, I finally learned how to sear steak.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, I'm learning how to sear steak. I just did. Kim ain't gonna come on screen. She get on my nerve.
Come on, Kimberly.
But yeah, that's, that's a lot of what I hear. I want to give the people some information too, because there is a, hold on guys. Um well, it's a couple things going on here in Detroit, and I want to share this information. Well, let me get the right one first. I want to start with, yeah, this renters right, the Detroit People's Platform. They are having a renters rights and uh, I guess it's a workshop and something else. Um, I don't know if everybody can see that. Let me make it bigger. But it's with the Detroit People's Platforms Renters Rights and Organizing Workshop. This is tomorrow, Thursday, October the 7th, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's a virtual workshop created to inform renters of their rights and uplift the power we collectively hold to change the housing system. And there is a website as well. I'm going to link the website in the description box. And then there's a coat giveaway. It's a couple of these. Let me give them this stuff. Um,
Yeah, that's some good information to share for sure because we're getting ready to get cold.
it's
People
getting
getting
ready to
cold.
get cold, and
And
these
with the
kids
COVID
and
thing
stuff.
still having going on, people, you know, aren't getting the money that they need. You know, the unemployment stopped September the 4th. So now you're looking at people that probably can't pay rent and stuff coming up soon.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because a lot of this stimulus stuff is going away, it's ending.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is called the Faith in Blue. I don't know if they are a police organization or what. This coming Sunday, October the 10th, from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. at the Citadel of Praise Church.
Oh,
Uh,
that's one of the what you call it, brothers church.
Chucky Ellis brothers,
Yeah,
your
that's his
brother, isn't
brother's
it?
church. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're having a coat giveaway. Free children's coats, all sizes, and the child must be present. Yes, it's hosted by the Detroit Police Department 6th Precinct. Faith in Blue is what they're calling it. And that is this Sunday, October the 10th, at Citadel of Praise. Their address is 20280, I believe, Linden in Detroit. So I'm also going to post this information in the description box so that you have it. What is Kim saying? Uh, Kim said, oh, except for food stamps. Hold on. Our bodies are made of energy. We are from plant-based. We need plant and nutritious things. Yes. Without dairy, white things, those that are not natural things for us to have in our bodies. And that's why we have cancer and all the other diseases, because of the mucus and all that are out
I mean, the same thing for
of
eating meat.
and our alkaline is off. Yeah,
Right, and the same thing with
absolutely.
eating meat. You know, you eating dead product eating meat. You know what I'm saying? How do you expect something dead to make your body live or to make your body function?
Yeah,
But
we're
but we gonna
definitely
eat
gonna
it.
have to go back to a place. Well, eventually, I'm gonna cover this food shortage issue. It's gonna be a shortage anyway, and the meat
Well,
is
they
so
just had a
high.
right. They just had a thing in the news today talking about Walmart is short on beef, chicken, and pork. So in a minute, you don't have to worry about trying to get a hold to any beef and meat and chicken because it's so high. They were saying you couldn't even get a hold of chicken wings, wings most of the summer. It was it Wingstop? They had to start selling thighs because they couldn't get wings. And a
Oh
restaurant
wow.
here in Atlanta that I was reading about, they said normally it cost them like I think 12, $15 or something to get wings, and it's gone up to like $48. It's like 3, 4 times what they normally pay because of the shortage. Because you got to think about this with the COVID, all of those meat packing places, those people got infected and they were closed. And then a lot of the chickens and stuff became infected, and they had to kill those animals. Remember that? Because I know in Georgia we got like 2 or 3
Yeah.
chicken factories here, Claxton Chicken Factory, and some other one. And they had to close, and they were closed for a long time because all of the workers became infected with the vaccine. I mean, with the virus.
With the virus, sure did. Sure did.
Yeah,
The
you
milk,
worked
it was
both
that
of them.
one milk factory where they had to pour out gallons and hundreds of
Yeah,
thousands of
a lot of
gallons of milk and
food.
all of that stuff.
Yeah, a
Kim
lot of
is
food
saying
became spoiled
that,
and contaminated.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Kim is saying that's great. Both Citadel and Greater Grace give a lot back to the community. I can certainly say you can see what they do with the money. Absolutely.
yes, yes, they
Greater Grace.
do.
Now, this is my first time hearing of Citadel. I'm sure they've done other things. I know Greater Grace has a great
They
backpack
always
program
they
and
got the back to
things.
school stuff. They were giving away bikes. You know, they've always not just giving away things that you really need, but they were giving away fun stuff. Like remember they used to always have a bike drive in the summer, and you can
They
go up
did.
there and yeah, and get bikes. Because I remember I've donated for the bikes a couple of times. And then you know they always have a back to school drive where the kids can come and get their supplies for school. You know, book bags and their school supplies and all of those type of things when they need it. So it's good, like she says, to be able to see
Yeah.
that
And
they're
they
helping
do
and
that
giving
big
back.
festival. Said they do that big festival. I think they call it a block party. And they shut
Oh,
off,
okay.
they put the things out and shut off all of the
Oh, those
streets from
blow up toys,
Telegraph.
yeah, and they have like a carnival style thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they give away a lot of school supplies and stuff there too. Then we have another one. I want to make sure because every week I'm getting behind schedule getting this information out. The Horton Family Foundation. Uh,
Okay.
they are doing okay. It says starting November the 18th. If anyone you know needs free coats, clothing, blankets, socks, winter gloves, or hats, please contact the Horton Family Resource Foundation at 248-881-3633 for a request form. Merchandise will be given out on a first come, first served basis until supplies last. So I will definitely be keeping you guys informed and posted about this. But you need to dial this phone number to get a request form. It's going to be the giveaway is on a first come, first served basis. And I guess I don't know if they're going to set up where you can pick the things up or they'll bring it to you. But I'll definitely be giving you more information on that as well. And then there is a lot of stuff going on in terms of like Wayne Metro. They have emergency rental assistance. Let's put this on the screen as well, really quick. Let's see. Okay, so this is Wayne Metro, and you can use this link, waynemetro.org/Sarah. This is the Sarah program, the COVID Emergency Rental Assistance Program. I think they put $100 million. Michigan, the state of Michigan put $100 million into this program to help people with rent and utilities. This is besides and in addition to the State Emergency Relief or SER program that you go through the Department of Health and Human Services for, or FIA, whatever you want to call it. You can apply for both programs. I'll say that again. You can get money for rent and utilities from both programs. Then there's a separate program that you can also apply for through Wayne Metro. They generally do a lot with utility assistance for your water bills and things like that. And then you have the winter months coming. In the state of Michigan, they did that law some years ago where you can't, they don't allow utility companies to shut you off like between November and March anyway.
Mhm.
So those dates are actually the winter time is coming up. So they have Wayne Metro has this emergency rental assistance, also how the housing program, and all of that stuff is over there at Wayne Metro. So make sure that you check the description box, and the information will also be up on my website, and that's scrolling at the bottom, www.canmission.com. You can also check the website for that information as well. And I think that's it. Did I have one more? What is this? Oh, and also the Detroit Health. This is the last one, Tanya. I want to
This is
make
good
sure I get this
information,
to them.
definitely.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. This is the Detroit Eviction Help.com. Detroit Eviction Help.com. This is also probably, now the thing with these types of things is sometimes they are distributing monies from the same funding source. So I have to check to see where this funding is coming from. I believe it is coming from the $100 million that they poured into the Sarah program, the COVID relief program. But I have to check. But you can get up to 12 months of rent assistance, up to $2,500 in utility assistance. This is very important. They do have a phone number, 866-313-2520, Monday through Friday, 8 to 6 p.m. and 9 a.m., I'm sorry, till noon on Saturday. It is a means tested program. That means that eligibility is based on income and COVID-19 financial hardship. So I'm also going to be putting that information in the description box as well, and on the website. On the website, you can go to the website to get that information as well. So that's those I wanted to make sure I gave them those, because you know, before those programs go away.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the
So,
thing is that they'll exhaust quickly, because if people really go out here and apply from them, that money will be gone, rather fast.
oh yeah, yeah. And if people in the Detroit area, because they got a pool of money, and
Hmm.
if people in Detroit area is not applying for it, they'll start moving it right on out to the suburbs and things like that. So yeah, it's important, and the help is available. You don't have to sit out here and get evicted and all of that stuff or whatever. There is help. There is help for utilities, water, DTE, or consumer power, whomever you're going through or whatever. They will help you, and you can still get additional funds if there's a security deposit that is well, in this case, they'll pay whatever they're going to pay. If there's still amounts left over, you can still go through the State Department of Health, FIA, or whoever it is, DHS, and get additional assistance through the SCR program. So they have a lot. We're fortunate here in Michigan with stuff like that.
Yeah,
We
that is good
really
help.
are. A lot of states do not have those programs available.
Mm-mm. They don't. They really don't. I know they don't have them in Georgia, so they're having a lot of problems with people getting ready to become evicted, because the
That
resources have
eviction moratorium.
exhausted. Yes, and people aren't back to work. And the thing is a lot of people are like, they can't really even afford to go back to work and take these low paying wages and stuff like that. And that's the thing they're saying. It's a lot of jobs out here, but what are they paying?
Right.
You know, these jobs are not paying affordable wages where people can go out here and really live. Because the thing is, the housing market, even buying and getting a house, those prices have increased dramatically. And the same thing with the rental areas. They've marked up and charging all this extra rent now, and people are losing their places, and they're only trying to get in a certain dynamic or certain demographic of individuals. So people that are making less than whatever amount of money, they're losing housing. Where are they going? Where are you going to put these people?
Yes.
So it's not good. It's just really not good. I mean, and Georgia's become very expensive to live in now, and I think a lot of it is because of the film industry. It used to be a place that was affordable, and and you came here and you got a lot of house for little money, or a lot of this for a little money.
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah.
that anymore. It's
It's
not.
not.
It is not. Like I said, when I first
Okay.
came here, things were way, way lower than what they are right
I know.
now.
I know somebody else that moved out there. She down there got a mansion out there,
Yeah, I mean, 10
and
years
she
ago,
paid
15
little
years
or
ago,
nothing for her.
right,
Oh
10,
yeah,
15 years ago,
it's
you
been
could
like
do that.
that about
But
10 years
you're
ago.
not
Yeah.
doing that now. I mean, I was looking for a house earlier this year, and I was amazed at the prices that were inflated by extra $20,000. And I'm like, for this, I'm not paying 20. Keep moving, keep looking, keep looking, keep looking. I mean, the prices were so inflated. And well, I'll
Yeah.
put it to you this way: no matter what they may be asking, the thing about it is you are offering this extra money to try to get your bid in. And true enough, in the housing market, it doesn't matter what they say they want to sell it for. If the value of the house, once it is valued by the if it's FHA or whoever the bank says, okay, well you may be asking $500,000 for your house, but your house ain't worth for 300,000. You ain't gonna never get more than that if somebody's financing you.
Mhm.
Now paying cash,
Yeah.
totally different. And you got a lot of cash investors that are out here buying these houses off cash and pretty much what people are asking for, and they don't have to have an inspection. They don't have to have any of these things that are needed to do FHA or conventional. So you turn it around and these people are like, hey, I'll take that money. I don't care about anything else. I'm gonna take this money and I'm gonna go head on, and I don't have to worry about waiting to get an inspection, waiting to see whether or not my buyer's actually been approved. So that changed a lot. And then a lot of the cash buyers that have been buying these houses like like Zillow, Red Door, and all of these places, they'll buy that house and then they'll turn around and they want to rent it out for $2,500.
Ooh.
Who's doing that? And then they want first
Wow.
and last month's rent. So who wants to put $5,000, $6,000 to rent a home?
Ooh. It's people out here
However,
doing it though. It's
right,
people
but
out here doing. I know it's a YouTuber that's paying 6,000. He's in Atlanta,
mm,
paying $6,000 a month. I think it used to be the mansion. I ain't gonna say. They're renting some celebrities' old house.
yeah, I don't doubt it. And then the other part about it too is that along with all of that going on, you got a lot of companies that are reloading here. Minute Maid, that was located it's a Coca-Cola company that was in Texas. They brought their headquarters here to Atlanta. Um, Google, I think, has, is it Google or what's the other one that's in Washington? Microsoft. They brought a
Mm-hmm.
headquarters here. Um,
Oh yeah.
uh, One of the railroad companies, Norfolk Southern, they relocated the other part of their headquarters from Virginia to Atlanta. So you have a lot of the people that are top leadership that have relocated, and those
Yeah.
companies will buy their house wherever they are and help them buy another house here. So you had a lot of that happening as well.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
those companies that are relocating their employees, they're paying and giving them the money to go ahead and buy a house right away because they got to relocate their families and themselves. So that's another thing that had hit the market real heavy here in Atlanta too. I mean, there's a lot of room in Atlanta. There's a lot of undeveloped land, and they're developing and redeveloping and things like that. But at the same time, like I said, it's not like it was 10 years ago. And I really regret that I did not start looking and wanting to buy a home 10 years ago. But the apartment life was fitting me well. So I'm like, oh, I don't have to be bothered with a house. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. So I'm
you already had a house and you probably.
Yeah, I've been through that.
Yeah.
And that was my thing.
I'm like my one of my brothers, he was saying, now he's, getting, he's in his senior years, and he was just saying, he said, I don't miss having, I said, how do you miss your house? He said, I don't miss it. All that cutting grass and all that stuff.
Something break down now, you got to come up with money to fix it. Why the hot water ain't working? Oh, the hot water heater done went out. And then, like you said, you got to go out here. Now you got to get somebody to maintenance and do your yard, or either you got to go out here and do it. And you guys know, I used to put a lot of work into my yard.
Let me tell you something. It is not the same. You cannot find people. My yard was a mess up until day before yesterday, because every time I find somebody that's decent to keep my yard up, I don't know what happens to
they
these
just disappear.
People. They just go away.
Yeah,
you can't find them. You can't get them on the phone no more. And I'm saying, what in the world? You can't find good lawn services anymore. You can't find good mechanics anymore.
You can't find a good handyman. None of that.
A good handyman.
Yeah.
I needed my TV when I was looking for somebody to mount my TV on the wall. It took my TV sat on the floor for like 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what is going on? You cannot find these people no more.
No.
So
and you remember how you used to go in the grocery store and they would have those walls
and they would have the flyers and stuff like that.
Yes. Nothing now. You don't get that anymore. Nothing. So
you just cannot find these people anymore. So it's very difficult. Kim is not going to join us on screen. You get on my nerves. You think you bad because you got nuptials and stuff.
Right. She can't get on here and talk with us. Okay. And she needs to call me. That was from a week ago. She was supposed to call me back a week ago. I ain't heard from her. Yeah, she done been to Vegas and come back, and I still ain't heard from this girl. I still ain't heard from her.
She sure was. I saw the pictures. You busted Kim. You been out of town. You didn't call Tanya back.
No,
but anyway, I appreciate this good conversation. Anytime. Now, if you want to come back next week, you can now. Let me know.
I might. We'll see what's going on.
We'll talk and chit chat or whatever, because it's actually been kind of cool to have somebody to bounce off of and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I enjoy it. It is. Give me a chance to share some of the things that I read, because I'm looking at stuff, because I'm bouncing and sending you stuff all the time. And I'm like, okay. I said, let me share this with her. Let me share this with her.
A lot of stuff, yeah.
So I don't mind, kind of coming in here with you and kind of sharing stuff that we get to find out and read and look at, because like I said, I'm a news buff. I like looking and finding out and seeing what's going on here and trying to stay abreast on all these different things, because it's a lot going on, and if you're not paying attention, it'll go right over your head, and you'll be like, whoa, what was this?
Right.
So definitely.
And it'll overwhelm you. So I enjoy just the idea of helping people, navigate through a lot of the stuff. Because like you said, it's so much going on. It's like, that's why I said all of this stuff is affecting our physical health and our mental health. I don't care what anybody says. They're talking about the kids. I say, hey, what about me?
Right.
My mental health is affected too.
I know that's right. I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. It's tough out here, too. It is tough.
It's rough trying to process all of this stuff. So I think that we have, over the past few weeks, we've been doing this 3 weeks now.
Yeah, and I think that we've gotten some good information that we've been able to share. and help people to understand things. I hope a little bit better, make
Yeah,
them to think a little bit more if they haven't become vaccinated, whether or not this is something that they would consider. I mean, I do respect your opinion if that's not something that you want to do. I just hope that whatever decision that you make, it works in your best favor, no matter what the circumstances are.
absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely build up those immune systems. We need to be doing that anyway. That would have been something that Kim could have been really, really good at giving us some information on that. I'll see if I can get her to come on one day. But definitely build up the immune systems. Definitely um, consult with the CDC and the NIH and John Hopkins and Department of Human Services in your local areas and all of that. So there's a wealth of
Exactly.
information
Take the time
everywhere.
and look it up and find, they have a
And
lot
look
of
for the live
AMA.
websites that offer live chats where you can. That's why the National Medical Association, NMA, National Medical Association of Black Doctors, they have a whole website and they have, you can live chat with them. If I'm not mistaken, you can live chat with them and ask questions. Talk about and talk to your talk to your personal doctors. That's the
Yeah,
most important thing. Talk
yeah,
to your own personal doctors. You don't trust the government and all of that stuff. Fine. At least talk to your personal doctors that you trust with your overall care and ask them what they think and what they know and how it could affect you because everybody's circumstances is different.
exactly, exactly.
Everybody's circumstances is different. So I appreciate it. I think that we had a great conversation tonight, as always. And I was trying to look and see if there was anything else that I wanted to bring up, but it doesn't. But one of the things that we need to look out for and definitely follow is what's going on with the Facebook. Kim, what did you think you was in Facebook jail when Facebook went out the other day? Everybody, I know I was scared. I'm like, I can't get into Facebook. What's going on?
Yeah, I started
I
hearing and reading about it. I'm like, what's going on? Oh wow. And it was like I
It
could
was
get
just
on it.
weird.
Yeah, because it's like I could get on it and some stuff I could go ahead and I could touch and read it or whatever. And then if I
Oh,
want to
I
go
couldn't get
search
on at
and look,
all.
I could get on, but then some stuff would get stuck. Or I couldn't open it up to read it or something like that. But I was getting on some stuff and like looking at other people's things and reading
Wait a
it and
minute.
liking it or whatever. But then if I wanted to search something myself, I couldn't do it.
Okay, I couldn't get on, and my internet went out. That's
Yeah,
what was.
I remember you said that.
Remember, because we was gonna do this Monday,
Right, right.
but my
And I
internet
said,
went
but when
out,
you
and then
said
it
your
popped
internet,
back on for a minute, and it went right back out.
right, but the thing was, is it wouldn't have done, even if your internet had been working, it wouldn't have been good to do this on Monday because nobody could have got on.
I couldn't stream to Facebook at all.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
yeah, we couldn't.
Facebook was down for like 6 hours, I think they said.
Uh huh. Yeah, and oh, remember I was telling you that they were telling people to get onto Black Planet, that they were saying, hey, we need to
Oh
start
yeah.
opening and getting the Black
Oh
Planet
yeah. I
going
gotta
again.
go on there. Yeah.
Yeah, because matter of fact, it was Roland Martin that had brought that up on his page, and he was talking about how that was brought up. Let me see if I can find that where he had was speaking about that and how Black Planet was saying that hey, come back to us because we're ready for you guys. We're trying to reconnect and get
Wait.
right here. It says the here. This is what I read about it. It said let's reel in the mess. Facebook outages and renewed calls for accountability as Black Planet courts new users. So a lot of people started going into Black Planet, and
Yeah.
I remember Black Planet, but I've never been on
I
there.
remember it too.
And I
I
think
didn't
I'm
know it
going
was
to.
still around.
Yeah, I didn't either, but I think now I'm going to go back because I want to be able to see what's going on and what type of information that they may be providing and helping us with. Because at first, Black Planet was really, really, really for just socializing and dating and stuff like that. I never
Oh,
remember
yeah.
getting
I can. I
information
don't. I
for
don't. I
news.
remember. I can see the little logo in my head. Was the logo
Yeah.
yellow?
I don't remember. It's not showing it. Maybe they've
I can't
updated it because the
remember,
one
but
I'm
I
looking at
remember
now.
Black Planet. I remember
Yeah.
something. I don't know what
I
they
mean,
were doing
back
on there.
then, when it was first coming out, I definitely was not doing anything with social media then at all. But I know that
Right.
it was one of the largest things that people were dating on and doing, internet dating with. I remember that. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, I don't need that, so I'm not going to go on there if that's, primarily what the goal is of using Black media. But they're saying now that they're trying to get back into making it strong. So who knows? It could be worthy of going on there and seeing if they're trying to change their platform and become something that is not just for, real person to person socializing, but giving information to the public and being able to help us to find out resources and different things like that. I would definitely love to see that. But they have put
Oh
on here that
yeah. Yeah.
they said on here that Black Planet page is still going strong and standing up to the test of time. So I don't
Wow.
know. You may
Yeah.
have to go
I
on
didn't
here and
have
see
no
what's going
idea
on.
it was even still around. But yeah, I'll definitely go on there and check it out. And then I want to make sure that everybody goes to Kim. Kim, go to YouTube and to the YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button, please. And I want to encourage everybody to do that, as well as go to the website www.cammichigan.com and go ahead and put in your email address, because we don't know what's going on with these social media companies. They're not going anywhere, that's for sure. But we don't know what kind of changes are going to be made. Like I said, censorship is a good thing. It's tricky though.
Yeah,
It's very, very tricky in terms of, because in general, I think everybody's voices should be heard,
I
whether
agree.
I
Like
agree
you
with
said,
them or
you want
not. I think people should have the right to express themselves and things like that. However, when you are in a situation like this where there's a public health crisis, I can understand where they're coming from. And the regulate, like I said, it's going to be interesting to watch what type of regulations in terms that they're going to start proposing and trying to put in place. And these social media companies now, they are not no lightweight thing. They're very
no,
rich and powerful.
very.
And let me
They're
tell you
reaching a
something.
lot of people,
They're
and
gonna
if
fight certain. I don't know what Congress is
mhm,
gonna try to do, but it'll mess around and end up in Supreme Court, because these are very powerful companies. And listen, I can see it being turning into a big fight, is what I can see
mhm,
happening,
I
because they're
do,
not
and
just going to let them control, because they're private companies. They're not. See, the thing with it is that I saw some people talking about your First Amendment rights and all of that stuff. That doesn't apply to the private industry.
no, it doesn't.
It
It
doesn't
doesn't.
apply. They have the right to regulate their companies how they please. They can make the rules as they please. That's the way it
Hmm.
is.
Exactly. Because it's not like a television station or a radio station where it's
Where
like
you got the FCC
yeah,
regulate.
it's not that. This is not the same thing at all.
No.
Not the same thing at all. Now, if that's something they're gonna try to implement because of social media, I would sure like to see that happen.
It's gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be interesting to watch, because this lady here, she's spilling some tea. What is her name? Francis.
Yeah, Mahona or whatever her name is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever her
she ain't
name
no
is.
she's putting it out there. She is putting it out there.
She is Francis Hogan. She
Yeah.
undergrad in some type of, I forget what specific type of engineering, and she's a Harvard MBA. So she's not no dummy.
No, not at
Uh,
all.
yeah. So, but yeah, we have to look at, you got to balance things between what is harmful to the public and stuff like that. The anti-vax rhetoric is just really just has gotten flat out harmful to the
And so
public.
listen to this, since you just brought her up. It just popped up on Fox Business. It says the Facebook whistleblower's attorney. This came out 2 hours ago. It said the Facebook whistleblower's attorney says there's more to come. The lawyer says info regarding Facebook's role in the events for the January 6th Capitol riot deserves more attention.
Oh wow!
So this is getting ready to do some stuff.
It's gonna be explosive. It's gonna be
Mhm.
it's just gonna be explosive. And I think, because now the only thing is she did say that she does not. She says she has a lot of empathy for Mark Zuckerberg, and she doesn't think this was his original intentions. But I think the impression I got, like she's saying, he just doesn't have a good handle on the company and making sure the people that's actually running the day-to-day operations of the company, he's not monitoring what they are doing because they're making him money. That's all he's satisfied. Because I think they said he lost, I don't know, $16 billion when he was down for 6 hours Monday.
What? You gotta be kidding me.
I forget. It was some astronomical crazy number. Yes, he lost like $16 billion while Facebook was down the other day. Between all three platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. You looking it
that's
up?
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, look it up and see what it says.
Let's see here. How much did he lose?
It was a big number. I know that much. I don't know where Kim went.
They said it was $85.97 billion.
Billion or million?
Billion with a B.
So that's way more than even
They said this is how much Facebook lost every minute during the major down. So far, for every minute it was down, they're losing $160,000 a minute.
Wow.
$160,000 a minute. This is how much Facebook lost every minute.
Said that that sounds like the Queen of England's income. They said the Queen of England makes about $300,000 a minute.
What?
That's what I heard.
They said, on Monday they said that he lost. It's an eye-watering amount of $160,000 per minute from the website being down for WhatsApp app, Instagram, and Facebook. $160,000 a minute.
Unheard of. So it's not, because even with the Senate hearings, when the lady was in the Senate hearings, they were saying we did invite Mark Zuckerberg to come and sit down and respond to these allegations. But
hold on.
He went sailing today.
So he lost $160,000 a minute, or $2,670 per second.
Wow.
They say last year in 2020 he made $84.2 billion in revenue sales. So I was reading that billions wrong. So last year the ad revenue for Facebook was $84.2 billion.
Wow.
Amazing.
That's ridiculous. Oh my God. Yeah, I knew it was a number. But so maybe I heard 60 billion. I thought they said 16 or something. I know.
Well, it says here that let's see. The Fortune also estimated that as of the time the company announced it was coming back online, Facebook had lost around 99.75 million in revenue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And they based the figures on Facebook's second quarter earnings, which revenue was 29.8 billion over a 91-day period. That works out to be 319.6 million per day, 13.3 million per hour. Child, we got to come up with our own. Hey, girl,
we doing something wrong, honey.
Right. We got to do something. Hey, how you doing? What you talking about? We got to do something because this is crazy.
This is bananas.
Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, come on, this is crazy. But yeah, that's how they roll. So it ain't like they're going to just roll over and all of that. Not
Mm-mm.
gonna happen.
And it
They're
started
gonna,
like at
you know
about
what I
noon.
mean?
Yeah, it started at about noon, and it was after 6 o'clock before everything was pretty much back up.
Wow.
So, right. Yeah, girl, we got to figure something out. We need to get a hey girl, or I mean, hey y'all, the hey y'all app, or talk to me or something, because we in the wrong thing for sure.
That's real talk. We need to figure it out. We need to figure that out.
Yes, honey, we
Seriously.
need to call that the hey to people. What you talking about? Something, because this
Yeah.
right here is ridiculous. That kind of money? Huh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. They make that kind of money. That's what I'm saying. These media companies, honey, they are powerhouses.
Yeah,
So
that's why Roland Martin was
Trump,
so hard on him talking
Trump
about getting
and
his
his
stuff
little
together.
$70 million he raised off of his base and all of that stuff that's funding these lawsuits or whatever. Listen, Trump is a small fry
Yeah,
compared to these Mark Zuckerbergs and Google and all. These are some powerhouse companies.
yes,
They are
yes.
no joke. And so it's not, it's gonna, listen, I'm telling you, I'm gonna be following this story and reporting
And how old is
and
Mark Zuckerberg?
continuing to
If he
report.
ain't even 35, Mark Zuckerberg ain't even 35, is he?
No, he's a kid. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, they invited him to the Senate hearings yesterday. He went selling. He wasn't
He's
thinking about
37.
them.
Right, he's 37.
Yeah,
His net
he's
worth,
just a kid.
I didn't know he was married. His net worth
Who
is
is
a
he?
hundred and, yeah, he's married. Been married since
I didn't know he
2012.
was married either.
I didn't either. They said his net worth is 116.8 billion at 37 years old.
Wow. He's been surpassed Bill Gates and all of them. Bill Gates at one point had made the most millionaires. He was making millionaires out of his employees
Yeah, yeah.
when he started Microsoft. So, but anyway, yeah, we're gonna keep. This is definitely we'll be following this story. We're going to continue to follow the situation that's going on with the vaccine wars. But if Tanya comes back next week, regardless, I think I'm going to switch up next week and move on to another topic. And then we'll just kind of follow along, I guess, with the vaccine wars and just keep people updated as to what's going on with that. I still want to look at some things in terms of the MRA to understand more about the technology of the vaccine and all of that kind of stuff. But also need to
Right.
look at community guidelines for the platforms to figure out what it is that I can and cannot say. So, so there's going to be a little bit more extra research involved in those shows because they are being very specific as to what they'll shut you down for.
Yeah.
So
You can get
I,
shut
I don't
down.
even want the as the good old scriptures say, don't let even your good be evil spoken of. Shun the very
Right.
appearance of evil. So I don't want to be mixed up in that crowd. Even John F. K. Jr. got caught up in the anti-vax
Oh,
propaganda.
really?
His channel got shut down. So if they
Really?
shut off JFK's nephew.
Wow.
So it's a big huge thing going on. And like I said, it's going to be interesting, the regulations. I'm not even looking at First Amendment rights and all of that kind of stuff because it really just doesn't even apply here. Because
Yeah.
I mean, they're private organizations, they're private companies, and they're not bound by those types of, and they're basically, I mean, I'm sure that, whatever regulations are in place, I guess that's one thing to look at, but they're not bound by that kind of stuff. That you really talking about the government when you start getting off into the Constitution.
Right.
And
Right.
that's one of the things that is complicating the vaccine mandates because a lot of employers are waiting on federal regulations regarding the vaccines, and they won't give a definitive mandate. They are only, I think Biden just gave employers leeway to implement vaccine mandates within their own organizations, but he has not made a definitive mandate from the federal level himself. So that's one of the problems that they're having. But when you start looking at employers, people are talking about the mandates and stuff. And like I said, that's why I said it's still an ongoing conversation, because you got to look at the liability and stuff depending upon what kind of company it is and all of that. So they don't want people coming in COVID infectious and possibly transmitting the disease that can open them up to liability. So it's a lot. It's a lot going on. Like I said, the U.S. just crossed the milestone of 700,000 deaths on Friday. Cases are declining, but they are expecting another surge due to this Delta variant, and they're expecting it to hit sometime around November. So we're going to continue to watch this, and I'll figure out what we're going to do as far as programming next week. But I'm going to give this a rest for a while, and we'll just do some updates, I guess.
Right. Yeah, we got a couple of other things we can talk about and get involved in and try to just have some feedback and things like that instead of just beating this down. Like you said, like you said, there's a lot of stuff for us to cover. So we'll, like you said, take a look at some other things and see what we come up with.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, Tanya, always for joining us. She ain't no stranger. This is my sister. I ain't even going through all of that drama.
No, you don't have to. Definitely don't have to. Anytime. It's always a pleasure, girl. Always a pleasure. Since we first started the very first part.
People don't know, we in our little circle, we kick the bobos like this anyway.
Yes, exactly. Like you said, it's been a long ride right here.
Yeah.
Long ride.
So a lot of this, if y'all know, if the audience realizes it, I think for a minute, because we just get caught up in conversation because we talk like this all the time.
Yeah, there's so many things that we talk about. Like you said, we don't, we look at a vast variety of different things and, engage on them. And that's good and healthy for us because, we get to give our opinions and say, hey, did you see this? And did you find this? And listen to this and listen to that. And I can say, and it goes to show that we've gotten older and more mature and where our thoughts and our mind and stuff is on what we're looking at.
We finally grew up.
Yes.
Back in the day, it was like, girl, did you see his eyes?
Right, girl, he is so cute. Oh, wow, look at him. So yes, we got to go. Talking about these kids growing up when they were little, getting on our nerves, kids getting in trouble, this happening. Now they grown and doing their thing, and we empty nesters and all of this stuff. So it makes a big difference. Life is moving on.
It is. And it's a good thing. It's a blessing to see our year. So it's a good thing. And that's why it's so important, in terms of, and I think I can speak for Tanya on this too, in terms of what we share with you guys every week, is just because, we don't, we want to make sure that, in any way, if there's anything that we can share that will help anybody, I don't care if it's one person, that will help someone make a good sound decision and block out all of the rhetoric and all of the craziness and the madness, and go ahead on and do what is necessary to protect yourself and your family, because this is no plaything at all. And I'm hoping that the public outcry and maybe the anti-vax movement will help them come up with other things, other preventative measures. Who knows? If that's what comes out of it, then it's a good thing. But the disease is real. The virus is real. And so that is one thing we know. It is
It's
real.
not made up.
It is not a hoax. So, be safe, everybody. And we thank each and every one of you that has joined us tonight. We did have some people in here, and I see the numbers going up and down. So they're coming in and out. So, but regardless, we are certainly grateful for anyone that has joined us tonight. And those of you who will watch the programming on the replay as well, leave your comments. I always try to open up phone lines and things like that to make sure that you can call in and share. I did forget to put up the phone number though.
Did you? And I didn't even realize you didn't do it.
It just hit my mind while I was talking just that
Oh
second.
my God. But nobody put it in comments and said, hey, I want to call in. So.
Yeah, so but
Right.
but I appreciate it, and I look forward to having these conversations with you guys every week. Tanya, anything you want to say before we walk out?
Again, this is a pleasure to always be able to connect and reach out to the people to try to do our best to try to help somebody any way we can.
Yeah.
That's the goal is to we do gossip a little bit, we do have a little fun chit chatting on this, that, and the third, but the main goal is to do what we can to try to help as much as we can. Not with
Yeah.
with everything. I mean, the information that she gave out to be able to help people that are struggling with paying their rent, things that people need to prepare themselves for the winter, coats, socks, blankets, whatever those things that someone you surprised they can't get and they need it, and being able to provide that information is so good to say, hey, somebody may have been able to go out here and get a jacket and get a coat because they couldn't afford to go out here and buy one from the
Yes.
store or something like that. So we are definitely humble to be able to help and give that information to people. And even if it's not just for you, share it with somebody that you know that may need
Share it.
to
Yes.
use it, because that's the thing. Sometimes it may not be you, but it may be somebody you know that knows somebody. So definitely use, provide the information to other people, and let's all try to help each other as much as we can.
Help each other along the way. We never know when we may need it for ourselves. So definitely, if you don't need it, definitely share it to someone. We all know someone who could use a little help. So
Yep.
absolutely, I will see. So hopefully, I guess we'll try to be back on Monday next week, and then we'll. But we'll definitely stay tuned. That's why it's so important for y'all to subscribe to the channel so y'all can be aware of when we're going to go live and stuff like that, and keep up with us. So also go to the website and put in your email addresses. It doesn't cost you anything. I think I still got that $2 thing up there. I'm going to take that down. It does not cost you anything. You can put your email address in. That way I can contact you by email to let you know in case anything happens with any of the social media platforms. I do have a website, so I can go live on where you can watch us or any of the programming directly from the website if social media platforms go down. So this is very important. I encourage everyone to do that as well. And as always, thank you again, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.